Hi everyone, my name is Adam.
And I'm Zane, and this is A to Z, where we cover any topic from A to Z.
As you can tell, we do have another guest on our stream, and that is Jamal from Team NFG Bot.
What's up?
Yay.
Now, I know that everybody has talked about the bans, and everybody is interested in the shakeup into standard and modern and everything else. However, there's tons of content for you to check out for that, so we'll leave that there. However, we do want to talk about a few cards that we are looking at in terms of Frontier.
Yeah,
I think Jamal just went
it's
AWOL.
okay. It is all right. We can keep talking. Jamal's our semi-guest for today. No interview, no rigorous interview for him, but we will just have him as a nice discusser. Discussee? That's it.
Colleague
That is discussing. So yeah, I think Frontier is like, I mean, we like to talk about Frontier a lot. Frontier is one of the formats that I think we try to not only play the most, but actually talk about the most as well. I think the format's really sweet, and I think when each set comes out, it changes immensely because it is a non-rotating format that is adding a huge amount to the card pool. And so with this new set, we see cards. I think the first card that we can talk about, which I was talking about on stream the other night, was Renegade Rallier. Like, what do you think this card does? First of all, what is Renegade Rallier?
Jamal, would you like to take this one?
I'm not sure what Renegade does actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
one.
comfortable with what cards actually do.
It's okay. So Renegade Rallier. It's a 1 green white for a 3/2 human warrior creature that, with Revolt, when it enters the battlefield,
The one
if
that
a permanent
returns the card.
He was getting
Yep,
to
it
that.
returns a permanent. It returns a target permanent card with a converted mana cost of 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
The card just screams company. That's what it screams to me because it's a human as well, and it just screams, "I should be in company." I'm one of those people that know abilities but not card names. I don't know about you guys. I never actually pay attention to what the card actually is named, unless it's something that's embedded in my head after the set releases. I don't do the whole this card is called Botanical Sanctum and it does this.
Right. I don't know.
It's just the green blue fast land. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I try to notable names. I try to make references to, like Renegade Rallier. The only reason I know the name of it is actually because I was brewing up the company deck, the Bant Company deck with it in it. That's the only reason I know the name of it. And the deck looks really sweet. It runs 12 fetch lands in the version I was making, and so you just always get back either you can get back Selfless Spirit, you can get back Sylvan Advocate, you can get back a fetch land. Oh, okay, cool. Turn 3, you go fetch land, go this, get another fetch land, get another land. It's insane. You get your second basic, and then you play Renegade Rallier, and then you can go get another fetch land to get a battle land. Like that, it's just a crazy interaction where you can just drop a 5-drop on. You can have a 3/2 and drop a 5-drop on turn 4. So you can even go Elvish Mystic into fetch land, into this, into something else. It's just the interactions are immense. It's so good.
I almost see it in a Bant tempo style deck
The main thing
because
I
you
like
have that and you have Reflector Mage as well.
Right.
The main thing I like about the card is not necessarily company. It's one of those cards where you can court for in situations. So in your company style deck, say you fetch, you get a land, and you already have your mana base because you're going to play a bunch of low cost creatures anyway. It allows you to then court for it to get back. Say if a creature died.
Well, specifically Selfless Spirit. Let's say you have one of Selfless Spirit, and you say you have one of Selfless Spirit, and they just played a board wipe, and you already used your Selfless Spirit to protect from the first board wipe. Well, there's a second board wipe that's coming. Well, you need to protect from the second board wipe. Now, let's say you can then collect a company, or Quarter Calling. You can Quarter Calling It like crack your fetch land, Quarter Calling into this Rallier, get back the Selfless Spirit from your graveyard that you used earlier, save your board again from another board wipe. You just fought through 2 board wipes, and you have a 3/2.
I'm just gonna throw this one out there. In Abzan, Winding Constrictor.
I love that card. Not only just
Is
like
that Snake? Snick?
Yeah.
That is Sneck.
Snick.
I think that card
That is the
just,
Sneck.
I think it's just built great. It's a 2-drop, green black. The power and toughness ratio is great. It's a 2/3. The counter part is great because it works for energy, because energy is a counter.
Mm-hmm.
It works for your planeswalkers because they're counters. I just like the card.
Does it actually work for Planeswalkers? I don't think.
Yeah. If one or more counters would be placed on it's artifact or creature.
Oh,
Yeah.
artifact the creature. All right, so
It works for
scratch
everything
Planeswalker.
except Planeswalker.
Yeah, so scratch Planeswalker. Nonetheless, like, just like, in retrospect to Planeswalkers, like Nissa, there's tons of Planeswalkers that their pluses are counter abilities. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I just
and
think
you have Anafenza, the
foremost,
not the foremost.
the white one, right? The white.
Yeah, even Anafenza the Foremost gets a counters, but you also have Anafenza Kin-Tree Spirit.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's what I was thinking, because that would be, you would go Renegade Rallier into Winding Constrictor, which is a double activation off of Anafenza, which then would bolster twice because of the stack in the way that it works. As long as you stack it right. When Renegade Rallier enters the battlefield,
Yep.
Anafenza goes on the stack.
You
And
Anafenza
then
before
you can do
the Rallier,
Anafenza,
and then you
then
Rallier.
the-
Yep. That's really cool. You get 2
Yeah.
+2/+2s.
I think one of the most underrated cards in this format, not from the new set, for just standard and Frontier as well, is Tezzeret. Because you look at Tezzeret and you're just like, these abilities don't do much.
Right.
But like the plus fixes your mana. I don't know what my son's doing. He's like blowing the holes and making like elephant noises. Say hi to everyone, Jaden.
I just,
Yeah, say hi.
yeah,
Yeah.
Welcome to A to Z.
So I like Tezzeret a lot. Like I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you need X amount of artifacts. But
Doesn't matter.
The card isn't an aggressive planeswalker. It's a control mid-range planeswalker. Because you just literally want to kill opponent's creatures with it.
You also can. It enables Fatal Push. It enables other cards. It's a Revolt enabler, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think Todd brought up the point, I guess from earlier, that I like making Lotus Petals every turn.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what it does. It makes a Lotus Petal.
It makes a Lotus Petal every turn, and it has a really high loyalty.
Yeah, it's 4 for 5 loyalty. That's always good.
It's only +1, but still, like, it makes a Lotus Petal every turn. Sure. I'll make a Lotus Petal every turn. I don't mind. I don't mind going this into a Chandra in my Grixis deck. Like.
All right, and I mean, honestly, we do have to discuss this, and I know that it's been pushed and it's been promoted and it's been.
Is that? Is it
I
a
have
fatal blow?
statement you might yell at me for. I think Fatal Push is overrated.
No, I agree.
I would agree that it's not going to be worth $5.
Yeah, the fact that it's not kill any creature, people are viewing it as the Revolt's kill any creature. No, kill 4 or less. People are still going to be playing cards like Archangel. People are still going to be playing things that can't be killed by it.
It's not very good in Standard. Standard, it's not insane. Like it doesn't kill Gear Hulk. It doesn't kill Green Gear Hulk.
Yeah, it doesn't kill a lot of threats that you're going to be worrying about.
It doesn't kill Gideon. It doesn't kill Green Gear Hulk. It doesn't kill it kills a token, sure, whatever. But it doesn't kill Gideon because it's indestructible.
No, I'm trying to think. I mean, it kills a lot of aggro style decks, but
I don't think it's. I think it's very. in Standard. I think the farther you go back, the better it gets. So like,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Like, the card is insane in Legacy. Like, Legacy and Modern, the card's insane.
yeah. Oh, Legacy, like all the threats are under 4.
Oh, they have to be.
All the threats like 2 or under. Like it's real good.
No, you get to 3 with Monastery Mentor.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only card deck that's bad against obviously is like Speak and Show and those kind of decks where they're trying to cheat in big fatties. But like besides that, like it's great in those formats where you can enable it very easily and kill 90% of the meta.
Hey, you wanna go invigorate into Berserk on your little Glistener elf there? Yeah, Fatal Push.
Yeah, get wrecked.
I mean, what does it not kill in Modern? It doesn't kill Kiki Jiki.
Kalitas.
No, it kills Kalitas.
Well, on most occasions.
What?
On some occasions, I should say.
What does
5
it not
drops?
kill?
Restoration Angel?
It doesn't kill Primeval Titan.
Primeval
it doesn't
Titan.
kill
Tassiger? I meant Tassiger, by the way.
Oh,
it doesn't
okay.
kill Gurmag. It doesn't kill like the big scary Del
Gurmag,
Black cards.
Taskler, all the Eldrazi, and
It doesn't.
Not all the
here's my-
Eldrazi. It kills Thought Knot Seer.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
fine.
Smash-
But it doesn't,
Smash
it
is a bad
kill
one not to
Reality
kill.
Smasher, which is a problem.
yep.
So if you're cutting Terminate for Fatal Push and you can't kill Reality Smasher, where Bant is actually prevalent in paper Modern, you're
Yeah.
going to get steamrolled.
Band is also
Cool.
going to be insane. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna get smashed.
Yeah, it's like, cool. If I kill them now,
man,
you can
you're just
slow
pulling
down
out
the
all those
time,
nice
then you
puns
just
today.
die.
Had to do it. No one else was. You just let that one walk right by.
No, you're right. You're right. So let's talk. Let's finish up the Frontier talk with talking about Fatal Push, and then we can move on to Modern and talk about Fatal Push. So
As the Grixis mage, I will play maybe 1, maybe 2. That's like my cutoff number. I'd rather have the sure kill through Terminate and the shock effect through Colligan's command and the buyback, and just like Fatal Push, okay. Because the fair of the card is going to already push Delver out of the format. So now you already have Spell Snare also for like incrementally dealing with like Tarmogoyf and so forth. Like it's battling for not only spots for Spell Snare, it's battling for like Lightning Bolt spots and Disfigure spots. Since Disfigure doesn't really see play anyway, now you're looking at Bolt and Spell Snare. To be honest, I'd rather have Spell Snare and counter a Goyf than maybe try to kill it.
I think Fatal Push is better than Spell Snare most of the time.
I strongly disagree.
They serve different purposes, obviously, but
Fatal Push can take care of the threat that's on the board already.
Yeah, but you already have tons of removal spells that hit everything that are universal.
No.
Yes, the difference between 1 and 2 between Terminate and Push is huge, but you still have other 1-drop removal. You have Bolt to deal with early things.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
that's in the red deck. Oh no, I agree. It's the Grixis. I agree. It's in the Grixis shell. I just think it enables other things.
But also in Jund. In Jund, you have Abrupt Decay, you have Terminate, you have Colligan's Command, you have Lightning
But
Bolt.
then I'm also not talking about Jund. I'm not talking about those two decks.
What
You're
are
talking-
we talking about?
But
Are you
let's
talking about
redirect.
the
Let's
primary-
redirect. Let's talk about finish up Frontier first. So Fatal Push in Frontier, it's good. A lot of the threats are under 4. It's basically, I don't know. We'll see how it is. We'll test it out in some decks. There is no Terminate in that format, so it's really good.
Yeah, there's no Lightning Bolt or Terminate, so that's a format where it's going to excel at.
And
I
there's also
think-
fetch lands.
I think that and I know Zane's going to kill me for this, but I think the Black Expertise card slots in better on most occasions.
In Frontier?
Yes. And the only reason why
Okay.
And the only reason why is because you do generally have a 3-drop
Wide.
that you want to play, and Frontier is much wider than a lot of other formats.
A Tiger
in terms of
Red,
creatures.
bunch of decks.
So
Company
killing
decks.
one creature, this is why I don't generally advocate for Blessed Alliance in a lot of sideboards that play white, is because they're just going to sack a token. They're just going to sack, an irrelevant creature. It's not that big of a deal in general.
Right. Frontier is a go wide.
Yeah.
Frontier is generally a go wide format. I agree.
I like expertise a lot in both formats, Frontier and Standard. I just think black white control, like mid range style, like from last season, is viable, and I think it's going to be viable also in Frontier because there's a lot of like you were saying, there's a lot of powerful 3-mana walkers like the Liliana is something you want to put in off of it. There's also like draw spells and so forth that you can play off of it after you wrap the board, which I think is going to be critical.
Definitely.
Sorry if you guys can't hear me. My toddler is like, I want to come into the A to Z podcast. I heard those guys are awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So moving to Modern, just finishing up the Fatal Push discussion. Moving to Modern, talking about Grixis or Jund, not great in those shells because you have those Terminates, you have the red, you have the Lightning Bolts. The decks that really gain power is your blue-black fairies. Didn't have white, didn't have red. Like, those are the decks, the ones that didn't have white, didn't have red. Those are the decks that gain from Fatal Push because a 1-mana interaction that can deal with things early on the board is super important in those black decks. So, blue-black control, blue-black fairies, Esper control. Esper control is Path, but, that's a better late game.
Well, it depends on the Esper control that you're running. If you're running Drago, generally you don't even run Path.
Right, because you don't want them to get a land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Fatal Push coming in Modern heavily in an Esper shell. And the reason why is because, like, Esper, cards like Mentor don't really have very many one-drop, like, not dealing damage to yourself spells to enable. And being able to enable your Mentor off of a fetch land and kill one of their creatures and generate value is something I can see being very, very strong. Even maybe in Vintage, where blue-white-red Mentor is already a thing, it leaves room to splash black instead of red because you already have white removal like swords and so forth. So you can optimize and change into maybe.
I think swords is just way better than.
Yeah, agreed.
In like in a Vintage shell. So the Fatal Push is in that, but I think the Fatal Push really pushes blue-black fairies in Modern. So like that blue-black fairies has been a deck that was around heavily when it was in Standard, and then when it was out of Standard, it kind of like dropped a little bit.
You know why, right, Zane?
What?
Bitter Blossom was banned.
Well, yes.
So it completely dropped out of anybody's focus. When it was unbanned, it floated back in for a little bit, but it was still underpowered in the new modern meta. Fatal Push in that shell is great.
Here's what happens also if Fatal Push becomes a thing in Fairies. If Fatal Push becomes a thing in Fairies to kill things, then Spell Snare becomes a thing to fight back against Bitter Blossom and so forth. It's just going to progress that way, like it naturally does.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, and also like especially with in Blue-Black Fairies. Keep going, Adam. You go.
No, I was gonna say, you know what deck I think actually does gain a lot from Fatal Push? 2 decks actually, Death Cloud and 8-Rack.
Mm-hmm. Mono black, like a mono black deck. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that mono black shells will gain much more from having a reliable way to deal with early threats when their late game is strong.
Yeah.
I agree. Now you don't have to play Dismember. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you should probably still play some number of Dismember, but you have a better removal spell. Like 8-Rack couldn't beat Affinity because of it. Like that was his worst matchup. Like,
yep.
And now they can beat it. They have Fatal Push. They can actually deal with the big thing. Like, yep. I mean, they have to play fetches then, which puts them a little bit lower.
They don't have to.
Oh, they can just go Smallpox into it.
Yep.
Or Ghost Quarter into it. Yeah, that's fair.
Tectonic Edge, all of these things, all of the things that normally are good. And if you are running both Dismember and Fatal Push, you can Dismember into it. Like, no, it would be Dismember.
It's yours. It's you control.
Well, I mean, you can also just sack your Liliana.
Yeah, that's true.
To make them sack a creature.
Right. I mean, I think there's a lot of things going on.
I think Death Cloud gains more from it.
I agree.
Because Death Cloud is sacrifice stuff.
Right.
So, and you have the mana rocks to deal with other things. So
exactly.
if they have two big creatures out on the board, you can just be like, fine, you get rid of one of them, and then I'll just push the other one off a cliff. Have fun.
Yep. I think it's really cool. I think Fatal Push is cool for Modern. We'll see how the other decks adapt to it. But I think that's enough about Fatal Push. You can talk it to death. Let's move on to Renegade Rallier in Modern. How do you think this card is going to interact with the Modern metagame? Do you think it's actually going to be pushed? I mean, it's a Wood Elf.
Well, Abzan Company was one of the most broken decks for a long period of time and one of the most highly played decks in the format until it got pushed out. So it could revive that deck.
Okay.
Do you know what Renegade Rallier is really good with?
Fetch lines?
Eldritch Evolution.
Yeah. Also Eldritch Evolution.
You can go that into Eldritch Evolution and then just get back whatever creature you sacrificed.
Yeah, sack your voice to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get Restoration Angel. Get back your oh my god. That's so you can evo your
You can evo your voice and then get back a Rallier and a voice.
Well, if you evo,
no, you'd go fetch the Rallier.
Yeah.
You put the Rallier into the battlefield, and then you would just get back your voice Resurgence.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
but then
you would get at minimum a 3/3, a 2/2,
and then you could rest, and then you could resto it later in the game.
Yeah, there's gonna be the resto turns are where it's gonna
resto with
disgusting.
Rallier is insane because it enables itself. That means it's like Resto and Rallier is enter the battlefield, return target permanent 2 or less. Like,
I mean, if that's the case, could you see a self-mill style deck forming? Where you just put almost like a rally?
There was a deck for a while that, if you're familiar with the streamer J-Bone Capone that was brewed up, and he was really pushing it for a while. It was it was off of the Abzan company deck, and it was more an Abzan Rally deck. Abzan Rally / Abzan. What's the other one that's similar to Rally? That actually brings.
Oh, the white one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was from Khan's Block, I think, right?
Yeah, it's from Khan's Block. I don't remember the name of it.
Give me a second.
Names. It's the X spell. Like
it's another X spell with. It also has Convoke.
X spell with Convoke.
It's a weird white spell that brings back things with converted mana cost. Like each converted mana cost. What is it? I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Man, this is something that we really should have, looked up prior to.
Yeah. Well, planning is tough.
Was it from Khan's or was it from?
No,
it was from Khan's.
No, I think it's from earlier. I don't remember. It's.
I know the card you mean. I'm just drawing a blank. It's not the Volt card.
M15.
It might be M15. Yes.
M15 sounds right.
Oh, it's Return to the Ranks. Yes, Return to the Ranks. X white
Yay,
Convoke.
We got there.
Return X target creatures cards with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to your battlefield. So it's almost like an Aristocrat style deck that plays. It does play Collect the Company. It also plays Return to the Ranks, and it plays Rally the Ancestors. That was a cool deck, and I think Rallier just makes that deck really good. It isn't 2 mana, which is a problem for the Return to the Ranks, but just having another way to return 2 mana things for value. The deck won a lot of the games off of just value and not off of comboing, so it adds some value to that deck as well. But I think Rallier is really sweet. What do you guys think about Yahini's expertise? We talked about it in Standard. We talked about it in Frontier. What do you guys think about it in Modern?
I think it's not playable.
Okay.
Just
0%.
Okay.
Like.
I think it might fringe, it's like a fringe replacement. It's better than Languish.
No, it's not.
You don't think it's better than Languish?
Languish is 4. Expertise is 3.
Like, the free spell is valuable, but, you
need to have the spell in hand.
You have to be playing a deck that's going to utilize playing a free spell, aggressively.
Okay.
And, if you're playing a mid-range control deck, you'd rather just go anger your board or damnation your board and not have to worry about actual threats. -3/-3 might be problematic because it's not going to kill everything. And then they're just left with a threat that's going to beat you in the face.
That's fair. That's fair. Like I was just thinking in the dream scenario where you play it and you play Liliana the Veil, but that's just a dream scenario.
But your turn 3 would have been playing Liliana the Veil most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you don't need it.
So I mean,
or you can cast your the draw spell off of it, Ancestral Visions.
It just seems, but that's your turn 1.
Well, what if you drew it later? You just got one stranded. I don't know.
But he's still suspended for 1. Like I know. That's the issue with the card. It's like it lets you play a 3-drop, but most of the time in Modern, you want to just consecutively curve your cards into play.
Yeah.
The card we really should be talking about in Aether Revolt?
I see seeing play in Modern. Sorry, Adam.
No,
is
go
the
ahead.
4-drop artifact. That's a 2/2. That's the reverse Bloodbraid. Now that's a whole different story because I can see that card being played and like being evil leaped into something else, and then you get to trigger the cascade mode on it.
Okay.
The 4-mana artifact. I can't remember what the name of it is, but the reverse Bloodbraid. That card might actually see some play.
Death. Some people have called it Deathcade instead of Cascade. Deathcade.
Deathcade.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I've heard Deathcade. The card
Beyonce small early.
Said it was a 4-drop?
Yeah.
Guys.
It is called
Treasure Keeper?
Treasure Keeper, yes. When it dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put all revealed cards not cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order.
No, you know what card we really need to talk about in Aether Revolt?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Ornithopter.
I think so. I think Masterpiece Ornithopter is a mainstay. And by mainstay, I would like to get a play set and put it on and do something with it.
So
I'm actually serious on this for one reason and one reason alone, is because a lot of people have been talking about Hope of Gurpur, and Ornithopter just makes that card way worse.
Yeah, I'm not playing Ornithopter at all, and I'm playing an artifact deck this weekend. The card that blows my mind as absolutely insane is Wellfast Engineer. Because, like, I've been curving some random big cards with the deck, and I'll go, like, turn 1, Bowmat, attack for 1. Then I'll do, like, turn 2, Heart of Kirin, attack for 1. Then I'll go, like, turn 3, Wellfast, animate Heart of Kirin, give it +2/+0, attack for 7.
Yep.
Then untap for my turn, go turn 4, play Fleet Rail Cruiser, trigger the Fleet Rail Cruiser, use the 3/3 to animate the heart again, and then just kill them.
Yeah.
And then just smash face.
Yeah, like, and there's other draws with that same scenario that kills on turn 4, and it's the reason why I'm playing the deck. I'm playing like some removal spells and whatnot, but like, if people are going to be derping around trying to like combo kill you with like Saheeli and the cat.
Yeah.
Where you're already playing like Shock and Grasp of Darkness, and you're just like, sure, you could do all that stuff, but you're dead. Also, we get to play Mana Leak. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man, like it's so 1 mana Mana Leak is so good. I know there's been discussion about that in Modern actually with Affinity, and like I told them no, but it's okay.
Speaking of Affinity, Zane,
yes,
as our leader in Affinity.
Yes.
What do you think of Spire of Industry?
Man, I am so excited by Spire of Industry. This card is amazing. I will never lose my colored land again, is all I have to say. Like, there are so many games where I've lost my Glimmer Void against control decks, and then drawn the Galblast off the top that would have been lethal. But, of course, I can't cast it anymore. But who cares about taking 1 life? So I'll be at, like, 20 life, and I just, like, have 0 lands left, and then I draw, like, oh, here's my Galblast. And then, wait a second, I can't win the game because I don't have my land anymore. But wait, you have to take life off a land? That's stupid. You know how many times I take life off the land? once per game. Sometimes 2 or 3. The times when I take 2 or 3 doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only matchup it hurts is burn.
That card's easily a $3 to $5 card in the format, and right now it's like $1, which just does not seem right.
Should order my foils now. I need to order my foils now.
Should. Like the price of that.
Let's see. TCG mid has it. TCG average. Sorry. Average.
Oh yeah, not mid anymore.
Yeah, has it as $3.97 for paper.
Oh, so that means it started to spike because like I ordered them for
$1. Super playable in standard.
$1.40 like yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, the low is $2.99. It looks like.
I think the card's very good in standard as well as in modern, like in Affinity. Like, I'm actually gonna go 4 of those and 1 basic in Affinity now, and I'm gonna be very happy because it's a great turn 1 play. You don't have to worry about losing your Glimmer Void. You're like, oh, look at this hand with 3 Glimmer Voids in it. I can't keep this hand because I'm just gonna lose all my lands. But wait, now you don't, and you can just use it for colorless sources. Remember, it doesn't cost life for the colorless sources, only for the colored. Card's great.
See, now,
can't wait.
Yeah. Now this is why I'm a terrible Affinity player, because usually with those hands, I'm like, oh, I have 3 Glimmer Voids. I can keep this hand. It's fine.
And then you lose all your lands and all your permanents, and then you're like, oh, wow, okay. The flawless victory for my opponent.
I'm playing with my ninja beard.
We can't see your ninja beard. It's cut off by the screen. No, don't show it. No. But I think that's card's cool. What else do you think about standard? Because like I'm not really versed with standard right now, and I want to become that. I'm gonna be looking at the deck list after this weekend, Columbus. But
I think that there's another deck that I was considering playing, and the reason why is because it's a very simple deck to combo off with. Not just a Healy deck. If you play the 3 card combo deck with Gonti, you play Gonti, Varioso, whatever that card is, the 3-drop thing that makes Thopters with 1 energy, and the module, because it curves pretty well, and you can just like
Virtuosa.
Yeah, you can just play a bunch of artifacts. Like you play like prismatic to draw cards. You play Pal Harmonicon, and you just instead of being like a 3-color Panharmonicon deck or a blue-white Panharmonicon deck, you're just now a blue-red Panharmonicon deck.
And Prism fixes your draws and colors.
Yep. And you get to play the Gonti, and then you can actually go infinite if you decide to play any form of mana creatures. Like you can play like Hedron Archive, you can play, although it's not a creature, but you can play like the 0-1. And then you get to just funnel the mana through your prisms, and you get to like play the wheel over and over, and you get to trigger or get 12 energy, bounce it back for 4, you have 8 energy, and you can just literally go infinite with your energy, and then just make infinite Thopters. I was actually thinking that maybe blue-red Marvel might be a new thing.
Okay.
You play blue-red Marvel with Panharmonicon, and then you get to play like the artifact effects like Bridge, Panharmonicon, and you get to just infinitely animate your Marvel, because you just Marvel, you hit the whale that untaps your Marvel, you get 6 free energy, you get to activate it again.
Oh, because of that 5-drop artifact you're talking about, the legendary one.
Yeah, the Bridge. Mm-hmm. I think that card is actually pretty decent. And normally you want to go turn.
It's really good with Marvel. It's very good with Marvel.
Yeah, they're like best friends. They're besties. They're like, let's go to the mall. What do you want to get today? I think I want an Ulamog. Okay, I don't think they sell Ulamog here. Can't buy Emrakul there anymore because yeah.
Is Emrakul's on the black market now.
You know what Rare looked interesting to me, and I think a lot of people have written it off a little bit. It's Lifecrafters Bestiary.
Lifecrafters.
Card text.
You want to talk about the card? I don't know what the card is.
Did you do a set review, Zane?
Yes, but that doesn't mean I remembered all 184 cards of it.
Like I told you guys, I'm terrible with the name. If you tell me what it does,
it's a 3-drop artifact at the beginning of your upkeep. Scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay green. If you do, draw a card.
The green card.
This is a very good sealed card. Very good draft card. It's holy crap. If you get this in any limited environment, you are living the dream.
I can see
you don't even have to pay the green.
No.
Like Scry 1, especially in limited, and as a lot of people probably know by now. Yeah, as a lot of people probably know by now, I generally play limited over modern and standard. So, like in terms of limited, this card is just really good.
The card is viable in standard if there's a Sultai deck. If there's a mid-range Sultai deck.
Yeah.
Because like imagine you have that in play, you go Ishana, and then you're like, pay some extra green mana that you have floating over, draw 3 cards.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you also have. I think a cool interaction in standard is Green Gearhulk with Green Expertise.
The draw one. That's the one that draws cards, right?
Yeah. Like you never run out. I don't know. I think it might be too gimmicky, but like if you just have a green gear, if you like, you can put a Green Gearhulk into play off of the draw card. You can also, if you already have a Gearhulk in play, you draw 8 and then can put something in play that's 5 or less. Like, it might be too gimmicky. It's probably just a one of if you even play it at all. But I think it's cool.
It might not be like going turn 5 or turn 4.
Even turn 4, you can do a turn 4 Gearhulk.
If you go turn 4 Gearhulk, turn 5 Expertise, redraw your hand, put another Gearhulk in play, have a 16/16 Gearhulk, and all gas in hand. I don't think that's too gimmicky.
You know what this card reminds me of?
It also does not a bit Fatal Push, so, there's that.
You know what this card reminds me of? Is Shamanic Revelation back from Fate.
No, that card's way worse.
It's a better version of it, but it reminds me of that.
Okay, yeah.
Like that curve topping thing that you generally don't always, like, you're not always able to cast, but if you are able to cast it, then it's great.
Right.
But if you're not, then you're just kind of sitting there with a 6-drop and you're like, yeah.
You also need a creature with the 6-drop, but the 6-drop also just gives you another free draw. Like once you draw something, you can draw something off your draws and then play it, which is really cool.
I could see it in a green-white.
Yes, green-white tokens.
No, no. I'm saying a green-white style deck that can run Fumigate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Fumigate. I think the card's just like right now.
But it's a 5-mana spell that you can cast off of it after drawing cards.
Yeah, but you have a big creature if you're drawing cards. Like you don't want to.
It doesn't have to be a big creature. Draw 3 cards. Draw 2 or 3 cards. Wipe the board. Gain 6 to life.
Maybe I
6
can
mana.
See
How is that bad?
I can
as
see
a sideboard.
I can see it in like an Abzan mid-range Planeswalker shell. Like if you're playing a bunch of Planeswalkers anyway, like Gideon, Liliana, Sorin, and whatnot, you just like animate your Gideon, then you draw 5, and then you Fumigate. I can see that.
It is really good in like a green-white shell with Gideon and Nissa, and like I think that's really like sweet as like a topper in green-white.
I can see it.
I don't know. I'm still looking forward to building a Sultai Marvel deck.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah.
Try Griffiths. Try blue-red. Try to like. I think
there's a lot of cool things to try, and that's one thing. Like people are like, "Oh, these bannings, they're too oppressive. Like, why Reflector Mage? Why this?" No, it's created diversity in a format. Standard is about diversity and deck building and brewing, and look, Standard can do that again. Like, that's what is cool. We'll see this weekend about how it settles down. Obviously, like, we'll see what the good decks are after Columbus, but that's all in 1 week too. Like, it will only progress from there.
Week 1 decks are a lot different too.
Fast. Like, they're always so fast.
Not always.
Week 1 is always more aggressive.
Often.
Here's my prediction for Columbus.
Yep.
One of the Saheeli decks will spike in top 8.
Okay.
There will be at least like 2 or 3 artifact-based aggro decks with Heart of Kiran So either if it's black white, if it's black white blue, if it's blue, you know what I mean? There's gonna be 3 Heart of Kiron decks in top 8 because the card is absurd.
Yeah.
The card is absolutely absurd. And then my other predictions, I see a green black aggro deck or 2.
Okay.
And then maybe 1 black white control. Someone's gonna play black white control and spike. Because black white control seems very, very like not control, but like mid range. There's so many good planeswalkers that you can play. You can play Liliana, you can play Gideon, you can play Sorin, and especially with the Wrath effect, the 4-mana -3/-3 to everything. You don't care because you're not really playing creatures, and you're gonna play like Heart of Kiron probably in that deck too. So you know what? I take that back. There's gonna be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, at least 24 Heart of Kirons in top 8.
All right, bold statement. With that statement, I think we should wrap up because how else can we get better wrap up to the podcast? With that bold
I'm gonna
statement.
say that Aether Spire or Aether Sphere Harvester is better. I'm just gonna drop that right there and
boom,
see what happens.
done. Thank you for viewing, guys. No, but for real, it has been a pleasure. I think we should. Those are some cool predictions. We can talk about this later after. I think this is a really great discussion to bring up another week. I would like to see where it goes, and like we've dropped our predictions. Let's see how it situates. There's no use like stirring up the pot more, as it were.
I love doing that. It's so
I know.
fun.
I know it's so much fun, but like, it's a ramble. It becomes a ramble. So like, I think we see where it happens, and next week we can revisit, or another week we can revisit. And see how that prediction went strangely awry, or went whatever. But
Heart of Kiron, all over top 8 in Columbus. Until next week.
But with that, guys, thanks so much for viewing. Thank you so much for joining us, Jamal.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so check out our affiliations and of the stream. You can check out teamnfgbot.com, which all of us are a part of. And you can also check out the Rogues Gallery at MDGO Rogues on Twitter. You can also check out ZMagic94, myself, and AmerFCS on Twitter and Twitch. And that is it for this edition of A to Z. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.